We exist to help athletes and sports fans around the world find their identity in Christ. We do this through different live events throughout the year. We do this through a podcast and different devotionals that we have on our website, all centered around professional athletes, sharing stories of triumph, overcoming injuries, and different hardships that they've gone that have helped them understand that their identity is found as a child of God versus in performance or things of this world. The identity sports movement began in 2006 as Tales from the Tour with Hugh Ilsley. In the last 2 years, I've been blessed to serve as the executive director as we launch this new phase of identity sports. When I was 6 years old, I accepted Christ into my life. As soon as that prayer was over, I had a second prayer, and that prayer was, okay, God, if you make me a Major League Baseball player, I will share your word. So when I was 8 years old, I was playing in a summer baseball tournament, and I actually passed out in the middle of the game. I hit a ball to the right center fence, realized I was going to get thrown out if I went to second, came back, gave the coach a high five, and dropped. I just passed out. And I remember hearing the ambulance and the trees kind of blurring into vision, coaches and players standing over me. Just a terrifying moment, not really knowing exactly what was going on, and eventually led to me getting diagnosed with a thing called long QT syndrome, which is you can get too much adrenaline to your heart, cause you to pass out and have a heart attack. And I was lucky that all I did was pass out, but the doctor looked at me and said, you know what, Zach, you will never be able to play baseball again or any sports. Straight went into depression, anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I was this happy-go-lucky kid to all of a sudden a hermit that didn't really want anything to do in life. And I was angry at God. I said, God, how could you say you love me so much but let something so terrible happen to me? And when I think back and exactly of what Identity Sports is trying to do, that is the organization that I wish I had in my life when I was going through that hardship. The enemy wants you to feel like you are the only person going through that in life, but we know that's not the truth, right? And so through Identity Sports, we're able to give this platform through the podcast, through the devotionals and the live events where these athletes can come in and share exactly about those stories of similar injuries and things that they've overcome and talk about how they found that hope in Jesus. So these kids can have that hope, they can have something to look forward to, because we know as adults that when we put our identity in something other than Christ, we're setting ourselves up for failure and for that hardship. And athletes now more than ever seem to be really open to sharing that faith because they too, as those kids, had gone through those hardships and those similar trials. And so they just want to give back and pour into those kids, because so many times you used to see they won the championship, they won these different things. These professional athletes have reached that level, the pinnacle of sport that these kids strive to be. And they are open and say, hey, this didn't give me the feeling that society said I was going to feel when I won the World Series or when I won an MVP. And so then they struggle with, okay, if this isn't going to fulfill me, what is going to? And those goalposts just continue to move until they come to the realization that the only fulfillment you will find in life is through Christ.
This guy won the biggest golf tournament in the world, is saying, this is empty, what the heck? And I'm going, it's gotta be something better than this, right? And so when you start hearing the stories like Charlie, where Jesus Christ came in to their life, fulfilled that gap, started to give them peace. He says, man, I went out and played great today, but it wasn't in the cards, and I'm okay with that. There's more important things. You start seeing things through God's eyes, and he starts telling you, man, this is not that big a deal.
Through being able to provide this social platform for athletes to share their faith, we've seen over 7 million views across 65 different countries in the past 2 years of launching the Identity Sports platform. It's been remarkable what God is doing through this. I mean, we're seeing people watch these videos in China. We think of how hard it is to get the gospel in China. Sports is almost that perfect Trojan horse of like, they see a face they recognize and they stay for that, but then they're hearing something that can change their lives forever, of that athlete sharing about their relationship with Jesus Christ. And so we'd love to invite you to be part of this mission, and different ways you can join us is to check us out at identitysports.com and just share the word with athletes and kids and sports teams that something like this and these resources exist. Everything we do is free. We don't want the cost to be a barrier to someone hearing the gospel. And so you can attend our events, you can listen to the podcast all for free, but that doesn't come as free to the organization. We need different donors donors and investors that come alongside and say, hey, I believe in this mission. And we'd like to invite you to be one of those that comes alongside and helps sponsor an event or sponsors or becomes a monthly partner, that we can continue to see this reach and God continue to expand this mission across the world and help athletes and sports fans find their identity in Christ.